before you go, there's a few facts and information you should remember. Some history and background about Japan is that they have a constitutional monarchy. They have a parliamentary government, a prime minister, and an emperor, where the power is held by the parliamentary government. They make around $4 trillion a year and have the currency of the yen. You might be thinking, what is my American dollar converted into a yen? For every $1 American dollar, there is 79 yen. They are one of the most technologically advanced countries in the world. In March of last year, they had a natural disaster hit their country. They had an earthquake that rated 8.9 to 9.0 on the Richter scale, and it caused a tsunami to follow the following day, which had mass destruction in the northern part of the country. It made their nuclear plants, which is 30% of Japan's resources, become unstable. It damaged one reactor so bad that it emitted radiation into the countryside, causing over 100,000 people to be evacuated. It is said to be the worst crisis Japan has known for over 65 years. Some cultural values that the Japanese hold dear is their work ethic. They have a very strong work ethic that's similar to that of the United States. They work Monday through Friday, 18 hours a day. It takes up the majority of their lives, and they do not leave the business until the boss has left. They have a collectivism value, which means they put what is good for the group over what is good for the individual. Their women are recently, in the past years, coming into the workforce. Over 50% are now in the business administration sector. Traditions are very important to the Japanese. They put the welfare of the family, which goes beyond just the mother, father, and the children. It goes into grandparents and great-grandparents of both sides of the family. They value ambition, education, hard work, politeness, and loyalty in all its business meetings and in any personal dealings. Some diversity issues that may arise on your journey is the gender. Even though 50% are now in the workforce, only 7% of those are now in top management. Their education, they value it highly as one of the top professions in the country. They have core studies of Japanese, English, and math. They have strong parental involvement when it comes to their education. They are stereotyped quite often as polite, soft-spoken, intellectual, and group-oriented businessmen, and that is a very correct stereotype. Some travel information that you should remember from when you're journeying is that a visa is not required for short visits less than 90 days, but a valid passport is required to be taken. Vaccinations are not required when traveling to Japan, which those get very costly going to some different countries. The public transportation that is available to you is there's buses, trains, and subways. And in your larger cities and districts, there is taxis and bullet trains, which is one of the fastest transportations in the country. An interesting fact is the toiletry items, such as the faucet, work opposite than they are in the United States. Some information that you should know about your business transactions that you'll be doing is that punctuality is very important. To be late is considered rude to them, and even 5 minutes late, they are offended, and you could hurt your negotiations. Their contracts are not binding. They believe that they are flexible, and they do not want to deal with American lawyers. Most of the time, if U.S. lawyers are involved, negotiations will not be reached. They like to keep humor out of any negotiation, but if you do make a joke, they will smile and laugh politely. Their human resources is very different than that of the United States. Whereas in the United States, it's common to hear of hiring and firing several times during the day or the work week. Whereas in Japan, it is, if you're hired for life, unless you break a law or you pass on. Communication with the Japanese is vastly different than that with the United States.
I have one, ma'am. So you were talking about women just recently becoming into the workforce. So when we're dealing with them and setting up our business meetings, is it okay to send women over there? Are they going to be treated equally, or should we just send men?